going on? Lego Man 123 are back with another video, and recently a few leaks from Lego have been released, and next year, 2020, they are releasing a DC series minifig, and there will be 16 in total. So I thought I would share my thoughts on each of the minifigs, and also sharing my thoughts on the packaging and then the box. So without further ado, let's get into it. So to start it off, we have the packaging here. I really like the black color there, and then I also like the variety of minifigs because there's not just superheroes there. There seems to be 2 villains there as well, so it's great, and the colors work very nicely together as well. Hopefully it's not like the packaging what we got from the Lego Movie 2. I hope it's a little smaller because I think that's quite a big size to have a minifig in there. So I kind of hope it's maybe similar to the Series 19 one. And I also hope they don't actually tape the manual up, because that is quite annoying, because you've got to get the scissors in this small paper taped up, and you can accidentally cut the paper or score the paper. So I hope they don't tape it up. The first minifig is this classic comic Batman. I really like that blue batarang there, and then I also like the torso printing with the muscle, the belt, and then also the bat logo. And then I really like his Batman mask with the long ears. That's really nice. And then I like how he has purple hands. And I'm also very curious, that rope piece, is it going to be coming with that cool rope piece? Because that would be pretty interesting. Or is he just going to be coming with the batarang? And then I also like the printing on the legs with his black boots, and then some black sort of undies on, so that's pretty interesting. And then are they going to use another facial expression, or are they going to use the one from this year for all the Batman minifigs? Next we have the classic comic Wonder Woman. I really like that dress piece, and then her hair is a great combination with her headband and her hair. And then I like the printing on her arms, and then I really like her torso printing with it seems to be some sort of eagle, so that's pretty interesting. And then I like the stars on her dress, and then her cool boot design is great. It seems to be some sort of arrow pointing up on her boot design. I like how it goes all the way around, besides the back, I believe. And then I like her whip of justice included. I think that's a really nice color. The next minifig is classic comic Cyborg. I really like this minifig. I especially like the idea how they've combined his cyborgic headpiece with his hair, so it's a bit of a combo. I really like that. And then I like that cool purple chain we get. The printing is just really interesting. I like how they have a bit of his human and his robotic sort of form throughout his minifig, and I really like that. I like the silver, which is great. The next minifig is one of the versions of Flash. This is probably my favorite Flash. I really like the inclusion of the cool lightning bolt to give that sort of speed, and then his cool helmet with the sort of wing piece on it is really great. And then his torso is great with the lightning, and it seems to be some sort of red vest, which is great. And then I like the belt printing, and then the blue legs are great. But I especially like the red boot printing with it. Seems to be another wing, which is great. I really like that. The next minifig is Aquaman from the comics. I really like that sort of greenish fish. I really like that. That'd be pretty nice for my city. And I really like that hook piece. At first it didn't look very interesting, but now looking at it, I think it looks really nice. I really like the torso printing with seems to be his silver arm, or maybe armor. And then I really like the torso printing as well. And then the leg printing with seems to be maybe fish scales printing is really great. And then I really like his yellow hair with his angry expression. Then we have a version of the Green Lantern, and I must say, this is a pretty nice minifig. I really like that, the Green Lantern piece in that color, and then the Green Lantern ring, and then the face is really great with that cool like green mask, and then I really like the torso with the Green Lantern logo with the green and the black and like the dark green working very nicely together, and then the boot design as well with those two versions of green is really great, so I'll probably pick this minifig up. And then we have Metamorphosis, I hope I'm saying that correctly, but this minifig looks pretty interesting. I like the 4 different colors we're getting. We're getting a version of brown, we're getting a translucent leg, and then we're getting a cool purple color with a big hand to go on, and then we're getting a cool orange color. So this minifig does look pretty interesting, so I also might pick this minifig up, but the translucent leg does look really nice. The next minifig is Bumblebee, I believe that's what her name is. I really like those lightning pieces. I think they look great for this minifig, but I believe they're trying to represent something else instead of lightning. And then there's wing piece is really great. I'm not quite sure if it's like one whole piece, but it does look good. I also like that cool like hair piece with the 2 buns coming out of the side. And then her goggle pieces are really interesting as well, printed on. And then I like the striped detail on her torso, but I wish there was a bit more leg printing. They could have maybe added like some black and yellow like boots. That would have been really interesting. The next minifig, I believe her name is Huntress. I'm not quite sure, but I really like that purple belt, and the colors with the purple, with the black and the white work really nicely together. I like the boot printing and then the torso printing, as well as the like seems to be some sort of like letter T shape with the white. That's pretty interesting. And then I like the cape. Her facial expression does look really nice with that printed mask as well, and her black hair looks pretty interesting. And then she does have a crossbow, but I kind of wish it was in a color what represented her, maybe like a purple sort of a crossbow, maybe a black or a white one, just to give her a bit more representation of who she is, because a grey like crossbow doesn't really match her because she doesn't have any grey whatsoever on her sort of printing besides just a few lines, but I wish a purple crossbow I think would have fitted her much better. The next minifig is quite a strange one, but I really like this minifig with the green, the red, and the yellow. I really like the 2 cape pieces we are getting, very useful for custom minifigs, and then the chain and handcuff pieces are also great. But the torso and leg printing is really well done. I think it's very well detailed with the boots and then the side printing on the sort of upper legs, and then the belt sort of printing, and then the torso printing. You can't see it too well, but it does look pretty cool. And then I like the arm printing with the like red and then the yellow, and then the head printing is great with seems to be some sort of like yellow mask. The next minifig, it seems to be like a DC version of a female Captain America. That is what I'm thinking this minifig does look like, but everyone does have their own opinions. But I must say, this minifig does look really nice. I really like that cool staff piece she has. I think it does fit this minifig quite well. And then I really like the torso printing with like 3 stars going down her side of her arm, and then the star in the middle of her chest with her red belt printed on. And then her facial expression is great with that blue mask, and then some blonde hair, and then it seems to be some sort of like blue shorts with these like white stripes, and then some black boots. So this minifig does look really interesting. And then we have Batmite. This is probably one of my favorite characters from the Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon series, because he's just a very mischievous character and he's always getting into trouble. But I especially like, I believe it's a 2x3 plate with the detective comic on it, with the comic version of Batman. I think that's a great piece for any sort of like comic book store or just a printed tile in general. I really like the torso printing on here with like a stitched on like his own sort of like bat symbol, and then his like tight belt where it's a bit too long for him. And then I really like that like cool like mold for his helmet. I like how one of his like ears are like bent because I don't know. And then I really like the buck teeth he does have on his facial expression, and then his two eyes are great. And then I like the blue shorts, and then grey sort of maybe socks, and then blue shoes or boots. I think that looks great. Then we have a version of the Joker, and I must say that cotton candy piece is really interesting because I believe the only way to get it is from the Creator Expert roller coaster, if I'm not mistaken, but I might be. So it's great to get it in such a cheap sort of minifig series. And then I really like the white suit he does wear with the purple shirt and then the white tie. And then I like his smile. That is quite a creepy smile. And then some green hair, and then a 1x2 sort of printed tile where seems to be the Joker card from a 52 deck of cards, but he's sort of customized it to make it his own, so I think that's pretty interesting. And then I believe the next minifig is Cheetah. I really like the different spots around her to represent a cheetah. I think that looks really nice. I really like the leg printing with the claws on where usually the boots are. I think that's really great. And then the tail piece is great. And then her helmet piece is great with the ears and then also the spots. And I also like getting the money bag instead of just getting a brown bag or a $100 note or a 5-cent coin. We're getting a green bag with the dollar sign on it. I think that is great. Then we have, I've actually forgotten his name, but I really like this. This is the version of him from the comics. I really like the torso printing with the different sort of triangle sort of pattern on it. I think that's great. And then a Green Lantern sort of lantern, but it's in gold, which is great. And he also does have his own sort of ring, which is great. And then I really like his purple skin because this minifig is known for having purple skin. I think it does look really nice. Sort of a purple and pink sort of color mixed together. And then I like his belt with his blue pants. And then his hair is great as well. And then here is the box for the Lego Minifigs DC collectible minifigs. And I think the idea of having each of the minifigs displayed with their own color, the best way how it represents them along the box is great. And then also the main part where it shows all the minifigs at the sort of front part of the box. I think that is really great. And I think the color works very nicely. That sort of blue with a bit of light and white mixed into it. So if you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, because I really did enjoy sharing my thoughts on each of the minifigs. So once again guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave your thoughts down in the comments below what you guys think of this DC collectible minifigs and I can see. So goodbye.